What's up? Let's talk about the problem of Muslims. And I know you're trying to say, what do you mean the problem of Muslims? Let's talk about it. There is no problem with Muslims worldwide. There are none. The problem is how we depict that religion, how we depict these people in the media. Because in the media, a lot of times when you say Muslim, people automatically think terrorism. And it's like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. You're going to tell me that the first thing you can use to describe a group of people who did a terrorist attack is that they're Muslim. So that means we should be extra afraid of these motherfuckers. Meanwhile, around the world, we have a ton of terrorist organizations. Tons of them. We have Irish terrorist organizations, English terrorist organizations, Japanese. Frick, the United States, we got the fucking Ku Klux Klan. But do we label them terrorist organizations? No, we don't. We go, they're not Muslims, so they're not terrorists. Fuck yeah, they're terrorists. When motherfuckers shoot up a school, is that not a terrorist act? But we say, oh, it's a school shooting. It's a school shooting. They're not like us. See, it's a game we play a lot in society, period, of this us versus them. And it seems like we let the media tell us who them is. When them, there is no such thing as a them. We're all in the same fucking boat. We're all part of humanity. And the fact that we let people tell us who we should be afraid of is fucking silly. Because just like when I heard about the Charlie Hebdo situation, they first tell you they're Muslim. I was like, okay, but shouldn't we put these motherfuckers in a different box from the box of just saying they're Muslim or they're just like everybody in this group? Shouldn't they be in the crazy motherfucker box? Shouldn't they be with the group of motherfuckers who do all this kind of horrible shit that are of all different faiths? I mean, are they any different from Timothy McVeigh? Are they any different from the Unabomber? Are they any different from any other group of crazy motherfuckers out there? So why are we trying to put emphasis on their religious background? Because we don't ever say Christian terrorists. We never say Jewish terrorist organizations. It's just terrorism. And that's what it is worldwide. It's just fucking terrorism. Anytime somebody does some horrible shit, it's a terrorist act. Because you're fucking interrupting society. And that's what kind of pisses me off when I think about when they try to say like, oh, if it was a terrorist attack and they happen to be of, African or Arabic background, that they're automatically terrorists. Oh, they terrorists, man. They Muslims. And they terrorists. That's all you need to know. And the thing about it is that the way they depict that religion in the media, it always shows as, it's only in one part of the world. Like if you're of an Arabic background, you're automatically Muslim. When there are white Muslims, there are black Muslims. I mean, shit, even in fucking Europe, there's whole groups of countries that have a heavy Muslim population that look just like the average white person in the world today. Blue-eyed, blonde, Muslim. But we don't want to depict that. We want to depict Muslim as being motherfuckers from the Middle East. Motherfuckers in the Middle East with extreme views. And that's not that whole fucking religion. And that pisses me off because those kind of depictions still exist throughout the world today. Just like when you say black, people, like when I meet a lot of people, when they hear that you're a black male, they had this idea that a black male is from the hood, you didn't have anything, you don't know your father, and you're going through these horrible things and you just barely survive. Which is as a fucking stereotype. And that's why I wanted to bring this whole issue up, is that if you really want to get to know people, you have to talk to people. You have to talk to different people, and we need to stop trying to quickly label groups, because we do it all the fucking time. That's why I kind of hate about it, because, as soon as somebody say they're Muslim, people always get to say, oh, God, he's probably a terrorist. He's probably working for some terrorist organization. When there's millions, billions of these people in the world today who live average, everyday, normal lives, not doing crazy shit. But we like to throw that term on there real quick. Put that descriptive term on that shit. Because, like, going back to the Charlie Hebdo situation was, the funniest thing I heard the media say that pissed me off personally was this. They said, yeah, they were Muslims. They were born in France, but their families were from another part of the world. And they were aspiring rappers. When the fuck does the fact that they're aspiring rappers have anything to fucking do with what they did? That's like if a motherfucker shut up a school and they say, well, they were avid Star Wars fans. Who gives a fuck? How does that fucking affect the story? How the fuck is that they used to rap have anything to fucking do with what they just did? This horrible fucking crime. That's fucking silly. But those hot word things they put into those stories just make you fucking be afraid of shit. Make you sound like they're horrible. They want to be rappers. Ooh, watch out. They were going to be rappers, but they couldn't do it, so they became terrorists. Get the fuck out of here, man. So let's stop using those kind of terms all the time. If you want to talk about someone who did something horrible, call them terrorists, but call them crazy. Call them fucked up. But don't try to use one part of their background as an immediate term to say, see, this is what happens. This is what happens when you're Muslim, you turn to a terrorist. Same thing with Christians. You never say, that's what happens when you're a Christian, you turn to a terrorist. We avoid those kind of terms on different people because it doesn't fit into what we want that box to be. We want terrorists to mean Muslim, crazy motherfuckers who will blow themselves up or shoot mass groups of people. Meanwhile, when you have shit like Columbine occur, we don't say that shit. They were being bullied. We try to, try to sensitive it up, make it not so desensitize it, but they want to, sweeten it up. So, they were tortured souls. They were going through some horrible things. They were bullied, and this is what happens, and they just couldn't take it anymore. Meanwhile, these motherfuckers do this shit. They try to make it sound like they're the devil incarnate, which they might have been. They did some horrible shit. Killing 12 people just sort of fuck with it because they did some shit that you disagree with is horrible. Not going to just claim that shit. But don't try to make that sound like the sentiment of the whole group of people that you're trying to make them represent. That's what I wanted to put out there. That's why I wanted to make this video, because it's a game people play a lot of times. When I said the problem with Muslims is nothing, and that's just what it is. There is no problem with Muslims. There's a problem with us. It's a problem with us playing this game of us versus them. Because we love to say, these people are bad. These people are bad. But we act like they're not part of the same group we're in. We're part of the human race. There's fucking evil in every group in this world. There's some fucked up Baptists. There are some fucked up Christians. There are some fucked up patriots. There are fucked up people everywhere. And it's the job of everybody else, the residents as a whole, to keep a check on those people. To identify what's wrong with them. To say, hey, this person's fucked up. It needs to be mentioned. Stop trying to play us versus them and try to look out for us. We're all part of us. Peace out, guys.